All right. Thank you. Who am I speaking to? Sorry.
This is Rhoda.
Okay. Thank you for the chance to speak to you guys today. I'm in Kisumu Dala. We're doing a training here, so I broke away to come and speak to you, and then we'll continue with another training in the afternoon. I see there's some people we know already. I think I had met some of you already before in the past. This is Customer Service Week. I don't know what you guys are doing for your customers. Since I am one of them, I'm just kidding. I want us to start with a short video and then we can go from there. Just let me know if you can hear, if you can or cannot hear. Yeah? Second.
We can hear you.
Can you hear the video?
Yes.
Okay, let's watch this video.
Number 1, leaving a positive first impression. Did you know that you only have one chance to make a positive first impression, as people make judgment in the first 30 seconds? So, what do you need to create a positive first impression and make your customers want to come back? Again, always smile, greet and acknowledge your customers. Be helpful, be interested and be attentive. Be confident, friendly and approachable. This makes your customers feel that they are in safe hands. Be knowledgeable about your business and services and the products it provides. If you don't know, make sure you find out. Follow up. Don't just say you'll do something and then not follow through with it. If you don't follow through, it will create a negative rather than a positive impression. Be honest. If you know a product or service can't be delivered when it's required, inform the customer straight away rather than promising something that you can't deliver. Or, if you know that the product will not serve the customer's purpose, don't tell them that it will just to make the sale. Instead, point them to something that will, and let them know that this would be a better solution or a better option. You are supposed to be the expert in your field, and your customers place their trust in you. They will also appreciate your honesty and thank you for it. And it will create a positive impression rather than a negative one. Be professional. Make sure you are always well-groomed, well-presented and well-spoken, and you never lose your temper. Also, make sure your place of business always looks clean, tidy and professional. Don't leave things lying around. Make sure surfaces such as windows, floors and shelves are clean and tidy and free of dust, and make sure merchandise is well displayed. Clean and tidy up any clutter that accumulates throughout the day. Things that you should avoid and things that create a negative impression are saying, "I don't know," without offering another option or finding out. Leaving people on hold for a long time can certainly lose their interest in you and your product. I'm sure that everyone has experienced this, whether it's been on the phone or at their place of business. Ignoring customers if you're busy, treating customers unequally, raising your voice at customers. You need to show that you are professional and that you can resolve any issue in a professional manner. Never say anything negative or derogatory about your place of business. Always be positive about the company or business that you're working for, especially when talking to customers or when you're in front of customers. If there are things that you're not happy with, discuss them privately, in charge, and away from the public. Don't have internal arguments while customers are around. Never argue with your teammates or superiors in front of customers. If you are having disputes, take them to the staff room and make sure you have the door closed. Now, eating lunch in front of full view of customers is also a no-no. If you can't get away to the staff room to eat your lunch, try to keep it somewhere where it will not be in full view, and try not to eat while there are customers around. Now, for exercise 7, I want you to get into 2 groups and think of a recent experience you've had the last time you walked into a department store, a showroom or a shop. What was your first impression of that business?
Okay, I wanted us to watch that video as an introduction. I think I forgot to introduce myself. A brief introduction about myself is, my name is Dorothy Lavuna. I am a trainer by profession. I'm also a lecturer at Daystar University. My area is communication, As in anything, as long as it's not accounting and mathematics. I'm your chick, I can teach it. And they say if you want to master any topic, the best way to master it is to teach it. So I'm excited. I have my chat open on the side. If you have any questions, any comments as we keep going, please feel free to ask them as we keep going. Don't leave it until the end, unless it comes at the end. So tell me, any ideas? What is customer service? I know it's a cliche question. It's a very cliche question. Some of you are wondering, why would you ask me such a question at this point, as if I'm a small child? But humor me. What is customer service? Anyone? Anyone have an idea what customer service is? Give me a rough description. You can either write it in the chat or you can, okay. You can either write it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and say it. There are 31 people in the room, so I'm sure someone will be able to respond. Anyone?
Dorothy?
Yes?
I think customer service is basically the act of serving clients or delivering service to a particular, to someone or a group of people in a very simple language.
Thank you for that. I'm trying to open my chat place. Just a moment. Doesn't seem to be opening. Okay, I like that. Thank you for that, Rhoda. There are many descriptions. These are some of what what they say customer service is. Some say it is the ability to provide a service or a product that has been promised. Some people say it is treating others as you would like to be treated. Some people say it is a process for providing competitive advantage. Personally, I have worked in customer service. The first 2-3 jobs that I did fresh out of university for customer service. Anyone who knows me knows I've done so many jobs in my career. Can you hear me? Are we okay?
Yes.
Are we good? Okay. I've done so many. I've worked at a hotel. I've worked at a restaurant. I've worked in marketing. I've worked at a call center. I've worked in so many places. And I can tell you, as a customer service professional, this is the best description for customer service that I can find. Customer service is the personal provision of service. Personal. The key words here are: 1, personal provision of a service to customers, and then the other keyword is before, during, and after the purchase of a product. What does that mean? I don't have to give you money for you to start giving me a service. The best example that I can think of is when you're walking in town, for example, in the CBD in the evening. I know that the curfew has been lifted, so all the hawkers are probably back in town. I haven't been in town in the evening for some time, but in the evening when you're walking, they usually tell you, Madam, kuangalia ni bure. Meaning, even if you don't end up spending money with me, you are welcome to take a look. It means the customer service has already started. And if depending on whether I have money or not, or how well you treat me or not, I may decide to buy your product or not. The service will still continue. While you are giving me the money and I am paying, and you're giving me the service, it continues. Afterwards, after I finish and purchase the product and have gone, you still continue giving me a service. But the thing about customer service is the key word here is there is a personal provision. There is a one-on-one aspect to customer service. Someone tends to be there, either it is over the phone or there's someone who is actually giving you the service face to face or whatever. Now, for this reason, because of this personal aspect, many organizations are moving from customer service to customer experience. Many, in fact, I don't know what you call your customer service manager in your organization, but many organizations don't say customer service manager anymore. In fact, they say customer service manager, or they say customer experience manager, or customer experience department. You see it on the sign, it's written there, customer experience. What is an experience? An experience is more than just exchanging goods, money for, the one-on-one interaction. An experience is about feelings, how you feel during the process. It's about when you are alone or when someone else is there or not. It is about the ongoing process. Oh, sorry, Joy had said something there. Joy Tanti, I finally managed to open my chat. All activities channeled to make a customer comfortable. Thank you for that, Joy. Customer experience is about, if for example, I like giving an example of, if you have taken a journey somewhere. I don't know how many of you like to travel. Like, for example, if you have traveled to London, or, we use big words. I mean, we use the abroad. You don't use just here right now. If you travel to London or Milan or Rome or whatever, what was your experience? First of all, you start with the trip, with how you got onto the plane, how nice the air stewardess was, how, if you sat next to people who are smelling, maybe you slept next to someone who was snoring. All of those are experiences. It is a blend of an organization's rational performance, the senses stimulated and the emotions evoked, and intuitively measured against customer expectations. It means it's a journey. It never truly ends. Even when you're by yourself, you're still experiencing it. So later on, if I ask you, for example, what has your experience been with Safaricom? Maybe you can tell me what, I think majority of people own a Safaricom line at one point or the other. I know very few people who have only had Airtel. That's why I like to use them as an example. Imagine, oh, by the way, I saw something. So I don't know if I see you're doing major things. I saw that you are is it number 7 or number 8? A IT company in Africa. What was that I saw? Adrian, please, did I imagine it? I thought I saw it somewhere. I think, is it Eva? Did I see you posting something about an achievement that you had made?
So what we are the 7th most active telecommunications company on the social media. So in terms of our engagement with the customers on the social media front, we are doing significantly well, if I do say so myself.
That's fantastic. So now why do you need training, Nameva?
No, it is not over until the fat lady sings.
Of course not. You constantly, if ever, the moment you get to the point where you think you know it all, that's the moment when things start to decline. So I commend you that you've decided that even though we are making moves, we still need to improve ourselves. Kudos to you guys. Nabado, usually all the organizations that I tend to deal with, I have the Midas touch, if I should say so myself. As long as you're associated with me, somehow you have a way of thriving and going forward. So this is just the beginning. So customer experience is all about that. Whether someone is there or not, I hope you see the difference. With customer service, if someone has to be there interacting you one-on-one. With customer experience, it is beyond just being given a service. It depends on how happy or sad you are about the product. It depends on every different level of your interaction with them. How has it been? An experience is beyond just who is there with you. Let's have a short discussion. You can use the chat if you wish. Describe a time when you experienced the most incredible level of customer service. What was the situation? How did it make you feel? And then secondly, I want to, after we've answered the first one, be honest. Would you do business with your own organization? Why or why not? Anyone? The first one, who is willing to share some of the best experiences they have had in customer service? Anyone? Anyone? All of us have ever been a customer before, right? If you have never been a customer before, unless you've been living under a rock, but all of us have been customers before. Anyone willing to share their best customer experience? Let me look at the people. Maybe I can call you out. You know, I'm a lecturer, so I'm used to looking and seeing who are my students who are participating and who are not. Let me see. Oh, we are 41 in class, fantastic. Who is Anne Kagima? Anne Kagima? Are you there?
Yes, Lucy. Dorothy, yes.
Give me excellent. Give me an example of when you experienced good customer service.
Okay.
Can you think of any? Yes.
Yeah, when I'm interacting with my internal customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a good. When is the best? What is the best experience you have ever had?
When I'm receiving a feedback from my customer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Receiving a feedback. What was the best feedback they gave you? What had you done? I want you to give me a full picture. You say there was this problem, for example, and I was able to solve it.
Oh, I'll give you an example like this morning.
Yes.
I work in supply chain in logistics.
Yes.
And we had one internal customer who happened to be a technician who had a faulty car. So he reported the faulty, we took it up and we took it to, sorry, excuse me, took it to the garage and picked it to be born.
Okay. All right, thank you for that, Anne. Anyone else who is willing to, let me see. Cherorot, Josephat? I've started looking for people and they left the room. Let me see.
Dorothy?
Yes?
I think if you can allow me, there's a incident very many years ago.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to share. I think I was in college, and you remember those times when the banking industry, we used to line up if you want to do any transaction.
Okay.
If you want to deposit, if you want to withdraw any money from your account. So I was so excited, at least I had an account at a certain bank. I will not say which bank that was, but I remember every time I used to dread going to that bank because I would probably queue for a very long time, and then the services were very slow. And I would end up going home very tired and exhausted. Can you hear me?
You're breaking, but yeah, I can.
Okay, so one time I think I was paying fees. I was in college, so I actually saw that they have another bank where I can use to pay my fees. and I picked a random bank that I had never been before. And so I walked. I expected the same experience I've been experiencing in my bank for quite some time. So I walked in, and the soldier, you know, the guy at the entrance, the security firms, who was so friendly. He actually walked me to where I should queue, because I didn't actually understand where am I supposed to queue. Then there was actually tea. I was impressed. And then in as much as I did not have an account with them immediately, I purposed that. Later on, I think I'll have an account with them. And for me, that was customer service, and I was happy about the experience.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Rhoda. Anyone else willing to share the experience? Bramwell, Abel. Bramwell, are you there? Okay, let me pick someone else. Let's see. Emmanuel Odongo, are you there? Emmanuel? Okay, let me find someone else. Please don't be scared of me. I don't bite. Yes? Yes.
This is Joseph.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's this chemist pharmacy where I normally pick my medication when from any prescription in the hospital. The reason why I keep on going back to that pharmacy is because there is normally a phrase, a statement they normally tell me that na wapone. So even if you're taking it for your kid, there's always that lady has never failed to tell me aende apone. That to me always makes me feel like I have to go back there in case I have any medication request, because there's I don't think there's any other chemist has ever done such a statement to me.
Wow, aende apone. That's so nice. That sounds so pleasant. Look at the second question. Be honest. Based on those descriptions that you have given us, be honest. Would you do business with Adrian if you were a customer? Would you? Anyone can respond. Would you do business with Adrian if you were a customer? And why? Let me look again at my list. Where is Wilson Mayo there? Senan Kanana, are you there?
Senan?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, tell me,
Hi.
if you are a
Yes.
customer, would you do business with Adrian or not?
Yes? Sorry?
If you are a customer of
Yes.
Adrian, or just
Yes.
a customer, would you
Yes.
do business with Adrian or not, and why?
I would do business with Adrian because they offer quality service, and we've been in the game for a long period, so we know our business. So they know their business now as a customer. So I would do business with them because I would be assured of quality service and that I'll get what I want.
That's good. Samuel Nyamoki, what would you do business with Adrian? Would you? Is Veronica Wanjema there? Is
Help you
Veronica
appoint
there?
someone?
Sorry?
Can I help you also with appointing our teams?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Elliot Sabuni?
Hi.
Elliot, you can hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I would do business with Adrian because of the promptness of delivery of service and the way we esteem our customers. The way Adrian responds when a customer calls, I think one of my colleagues was telling me when they see the number 072 and then 000, they will not rest even if they were in another meeting. They would rather walk out and attend to that. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Maybe one more opinion of whether you would do business with Adrian or not. One more opinion. Macarius, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Tell me, would you do business with Adrian if you were a customer?
I would definitely. One way I look at it is there's always more like a survey which is done from the customer side.
Okay.
And what we see normally is we've consistently, as Adrian, managed to have good scores or very high scores compared to competition in terms of our delivery of service. We've been scoring in some areas above 90%, like 95 or 97%. And I would put myself in the customer's shoe and say, this is definitely the service provider I want to continue to work with, and not another customer who is scoring 65% on the aspects that matter to the customer. So yes, I would do it, definitely.
That's fantastic. Thank you for all those opinions. Let's see. You know, I actually didn't expect anyone to say, no, I wouldn't do business with, because of course that would be like shooting yourself in the foot. Let's see if truly metosha mboga or not. First of all, what are the qualities important to customers? The main qualities that are important to customers are accuracy, friendliness, timeliness. Accuracy meaning give me what you said you are going to give me. Don't give me something else. What I'm expecting is what I want. Be friendly with me. Deliver my things on time. Do them in a way that is efficient, like saving time and saving resources also. Have courtesy and honesty. Is there any quality that we have not mentioned here that customers value? Is there any other? In order for us for the class to be enjoyable, it's good to participate, to chat and say some things. My chat is open, so you can just interject when you want. Here are some reasons why customers, some facts about our customers. We are getting to know our customers. 68% of customers defection takes place because customers feel poorly treated. Madharau. 68% of people who leave, the customers who leave, you wonder, hey, na sijaona customer fulani siku mingi. The main reason why they leave is because of just being treated badly. However, there are others who quit because, well, the reality is majority people will die. 3% of the people will move away from that product, so they have no access to it. 14% are dissatisfied with the product. They're just not happy with it and you need to step up. 9% leave because of competitive reasons. 5% just leave to try out something different. I like this because how do you explain? I don't know if you guys have, I don't know if near your office you have this, the lady for Kibandaski. You know what I'm talking about? The lady who usually cooks food by the roadside. Many times, it's not that her food is the best quality, not necessarily. And many times, it's not even that she's the only one who is cooking that food. Many times, in fact, where that kibanda is, if you look not very far from that place, there are probably even mice. If you see even how she washes the plates, she probably doesn't even use soap. She probably just pitishas like this in the water and puts the other food. But for some reason, you still keep going back to that lady. Why is that? Usually it's because of the service, because of how she treats you. Sometimes another thing that these ladies usually succeed on is they're willing, maybe if they tell you, Aki madhe leo sina pesa, sinilete kesho. That in itself is an aspect of service. I'm not saying that you now start giving your people credit. I'm just saying the little things, the things that make people feel like you value them as a human being are the kind of things that customers value. So the reason why customer service is so important is because 68% of customers who leave, they leave because of bad customer service. And another thing that I noticed, what is the difference between sales and customer service? Sales is where you just give the money and you receive the product or service. But with customer service, it's anything else after that. A salesperson will promise heaven and probably not deliver. But whoever, if you promise and you don't deliver, that is now where you move from selling and buying to customer service. Sales gets the customer, but customer service maintains the customer, keeps the customer. Every customer who bothers to complain, for every customer who bothers to complain, 26 other customers remain silent. What are we trying to say? You would rather have a situation where people can come to you and give you feedback than not at all. It's important for you to be able to get feedback from your customers. Another example I will use, I know they're probably your competitor in one way or the other, but I like to use examples like Safaricom. If you want to reach Safaricom, how can you reach them? One is you can SMS them. Cindy? Another one is you can call them. Another, you can send an email. Another, you can actually walk to one of their shops and complain. Which other one? You can pick up the phone and call. Those are 5 different, another, the 6th one is you can tweet them or go to, is Safaricom on Instagram? I'm pretty sure it is. You can chat them on Instagram, you can chat them on Facebook, etc. The reason why they give as many channels for you to be able to reach them as possible, and I want to assume that you also have as many channels for you to be reached, is because the more channels they have to reach you, come and complain to me. If you have a problem with me, come complain to me. But if your customers are going to complain to other people, it means chances are they will never come back. You would rather they come to you, and even if it's negative things, you receive that feedback and fix it, other than you allow them to go to other people. That's why it's important to open the channels of communication. It takes 12 positive service incidents to make up for 1 negative incident. The average wronged customer will tell 8 to 16 people about it. Over 20% will tell more than 20 people. But actually, basically what I am saying in this page is bad news spreads quicker than good news. It's even you can have been good your whole life. The 1, 2 negative things that you do, that is what people will remember you for, unfortunately. Some more facts here. 70% of the complaining customers will do business with you again if you resolve the complaint in their favor. 95% of the complaining customers will do business with you again if you resolve the complaint instantly. A typical business hears from only about 4% of its dissatisfied customers, which is unfortunate. You should be able to get feedback from all your customers, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's the only way you will be able to grow. 96% just go away. The customers who you want actually are the ones who complain. The ones who don't complain, chances are they got bored and they left. They just said, even what, they don't even care about me. So they picked up their things and they moved on. You would rather that one who, when the moment something goes wrong, they call you and they let you know. Sometimes they'll even call and they'll tell you, hey, those customers who give feedback, sometimes they'll even call you and say, well, Adrian, I've seen your billboard here. I'm seeing it has a problem, it's falling down. The ones who don't care will just see it and say, there goes another one, and they'll ignore. 91% will never come back if they don't give you feedback. They'll probably just go and disappear altogether. So customer service matters. Now, of course, there's good customer service, which I hope I'm not making someone hungry. Have you guys eaten lunch? It's not yet lunchtime. It's not yet time. There's good customer service when the customer gets the treatment that meets his or her expectations. Of course, there's bad customer service, which is when the customer gets treatment which is less than his or her expectations. Then there is excellent customer service, which is what we are going to be discussing today. Excellent means you excel, you exceed the expectations of your customer. If your customer is expecting 20%, you give them 50%. One rule of sales and marketing is always under promise and over deliver. And I would like to say customer service has the same rule. Under promise and over deliver. You want to leave the customer with an overwhelming, uto ni tu vitu gani trenye tuko kwa hiyo pizza? Ni tunyanya, to courgette, sijui nini, but the normal pizza which is on this other side, it's not bad, but I mean, it's meh. You know, it's, you know that emoji, it's, what's the emoji for meh? I don't know. This is what we are going to be striving for through this training. So how do we develop a customer service culture? How do we become customer centric? Number one, define your customers. Know who your customers are. We'll look at knowing your customers briefly in a moment, but define your customers. Who is your client base? And not all customers in the world, not all customers in the world are meant to be your customers. You have there's enough. There's someone who said there's enough in the market for everyone. It's just for you to know where your section is, where your niche is among your customers. So find out who exactly are your customers so that you can be able to tailor make your service to meet their needs. Becoming a customer centric culture also means you have to make it such that the customers know that we are here to serve you. Individual encounters with members, creating the experience. Always make it like it's everyone's responsibility to deliver the customer service. That is another difference between customer service and customer experience. With customer service, it's more like a department. Like you say, if someone comes to the shop there, to the gate, and they ask, I want to see so and so, they'll say they're in customer service. You go to the customer service department and they'll help you. With customer experience, it starts from the moment the customer gets to the gate. At the gate, as they're walking in, if the watchman is mean to them, the customer experience goes down. If the watchman is pleasant, the customer experience goes up. When they walk in, and watchmen can make a world of difference, by the way. I don't know if you guys have ever gone to a place and the watchman was just unpleasant. They were harassing you, but then these days I see even security firms take their people through customer service training. I even saw somewhere that the policemen, our police, Karau, apparently they're adding it into the Kiganjo training. When you come through Kiganjo, you should also be given customer service training. I can tell you for free, the policemen that we have, they're not all, don't get me wrong, they're not all nice. There can be some very mean policemen, but I can tell you for free, the policemen we have now are not as bad as the police we had 10 years ago in terms of personal interaction. Do you agree with that? Again, please you feel free to use the chat section. Do you agree that the police are nicer now than they were 10 years ago? As in, a policeman can actually say hello to you. A policeman can help you with directions. I don't know, maybe that's my experience. I'm not saying they're all nice. No. The policemen the world over have challenges, but I'm just saying they're more pleasant. So individual encounters with members creating an experience. Everyone in Adrian has the responsibility of carrying customer service, of giving excellent experience, from the tigger to the watchman, to the CEO, to the who else? To the messenger. Every single person in the organization has a responsibility towards customer service. Organizational structures and processes build around exceeding customer expectations. Do we have policies? Do we have a charter that if I come into your reception, it's put there and says that our goal as Adrian is to give our customers the best experience everywhere? Do you have something like that? Policies, yes, yes, Joy. Policies, and you know, in some companies, by the way, you even have to sign a document that says, I commit myself to excellent customer service. So if a customer comes and explains, complains and says, I came and I spoke to say Joy, since Joy is the one who is chatting with me the most. Thank you, Joy. If I ever come to Adrian, I'll bring for you candy. If you come in and a customer comes and complains and says, Joy treated me badly, they'll tell you, you know, you signed a contract that said that you are going to treat your customers well. People get fired because of it. Employee empowerment and creating ambassadors. Do you have customer service ambassadors? I know that there are companies that do that. Each department has to have a customer service ambassador. What is the work of a customer service ambassador? To make sure that they are the advocate for the customers in their department. So if there's customer service week, that ambassador is the one who makes sure that the customers of that department are being rewarded. I don't know what plans you have for. Have you sent out SMSs, by the way? You know, all companies this week have been sending out messages saying, thank you for being our customer. Even KRA. KRA on another day will call you dear taxpayer. But during customer service week, dear esteemed customer. Have you noticed that? Have you received any messages this week? If you haven't, tell me. I can send for you messages. I think I've gotten from KPLC, I've gotten from Co-op Bank, I've gotten from Safaricom, I've gotten from which other company? Who have you guys received any messages? Aki, talk to me, guys, so that this class is lively. Have we? Has anyone received a message from? Okay. Thank you. At least one or two of you have received messages for customer service. So who are our customers? We have internal customers and we have external customers. I think you know the difference. Internal customers are our co-workers. External customers are those who use the product that we provide, the external ones. Let's start with the internal customers. First of all, let me ask, why is it important to value internal customers? Anyone have an idea? Why is it important for internal customers to be treated well? Your co-workers. Why should you treat your co-workers well? Any idea?
I can see that how you,
yes, go ahead.
How you treat your colleagues or the employees has a ripple effect on how they also treat their customers.
Of course, 100%. There is a ripple effect. Let me even come out of the company and go to your houses at home. If you hate each other in the house, just basically a toxic environment. If your dad is always coming home and beating your mom, God forbid. If you and your brother are always fighting, you always steal your brother's toys, your brother is always coming into your room and stealing your money. The maid also is usually mistreated. She's usually told to eat outside on the balcony. She's there to be seen and not to be heard. if that environment is there in your household, imagine how I have seen situations where it's so toxic that people even, you don't get visitors. You wonder, what watutembelei? People are not visiting us. Later on, you ask someone, they say, ah, manze, uko kwenyu, your house, everyone is always pissed. Your dad always looks like he wants to punch you in the face. You know, I remember because my sister and I are so different. I'm very happy-go-lucky and I'm friendly. I generally get along with people. My sister, on the other hand, is very serious. She's not mean, she's just serious. She's just very stoic and basically kali. So there was a time before now I got my own place and she got her own place and started her own family. We used to stay together and people used to come to the house sometimes. So they knock and then they ask, hi, is Dorothy there? And then she says, no, she's not here. They say, okay, sorry, I'll come back later. Why? Because they could tell she's more tense than me. So internal customer service is important because it has a ripple effect from onto those who are outside. Another reason why we value our internal customers is because customers are the ones who are the ambassadors for your company. No one knows the company better than the employees. You know what goes into making the product. You know the limitations. You know if money is not coming in, the employees are the ones who know. During this Corona time, I mean, if you guys are still open, I thank God for you, because even you know that there are so many companies that have shut down and chances are they might never open again. Now, if that is being said, you know what will happen if your customers don't come. So if you step outside there and someone asks you, tell me about Adrian, you have no problem praising it to the high heavens. As in, you say it's the place to be. Yes, we give you discounts, we give you special offers. For every this you do, you get that, stuff like that. You see, the internal customer is the kind of person who, they're the number one marketing manager of your organization. I don't know, it's a good example is Ellen. You know the Ellen DeGeneres show? I'm sure you know it. What has been happening to Ellen recently? Anyone? First, you know who I'm talking about, I hope. I wish I could see your faces. I hope you know who I'm talking about. Ellen DeGeneres, you know, the talk show host. Yes, someone answer, anyone. Out of 37 people, someone answer me, please. Are we there? Joy Tanti, do you know who Ellen DeGeneres is? Okay, well, Eva, are you there? You know who Ellen is, right?
Yes.
You do?
Hi, yes, I do. And she's been involved in some scandals in some times back, but there were some situations happening with the show.
Yes. What was it? The employees went and said what?
That there is a toxic work environment where one, they are not allowed to even look at her when she's passing, and the senior management of the talk show is very, very harassing to the juniors to a point of yes. So the whole situation was generally summed as a very toxic work environment.
And they were basically saying this woman is the ambassador for treat people kindly. Treat people kindly, and then in the meantime she's busy treating her employees badly. She has if you're writing on the screen, please stop doing that. She has basically, they almost shut their show down. They almost canceled it. But what ended up happening was she still, it's still airing, but they're saying the ratings are very low. And based on those ratings, chances are that the show is going to end. The shelf life is very low. So let's continue. Someone mute yourself, please. Let me see. Okay. Communicate clearly with each other so that you can create a healthy environment. Reward co-workers with positive reinforcement. Eva can tell Joy, well done, good job. I see you guys have been promoted, good job. Offer support with tasks when you can. Honor promises to help. If you say, I'm going to help you to finish that assignment, do it. Make co-workers look good in front of customers. Don't go standing. Remember the video that we watched in the beginning. Those of you who joined us a bit later, there's a video that we watched where this lady was saying, don't fight in front of each other. If you have a problem with each other, go in the back and resolve it. Don't show it in front of the external customer. Okay. Now, external customer service. Before I go there, how do you know, what are some steps you can take for you to know your customers? One step I can say is do surveys. Do you guys do surveys? Fill out questionnaires. Do you? Bramwell, Abel, Bramwell, how do you know your customers? Bramwell, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Tell me.
Yes.
Do you ever give your customers questionnaires to fill?
Questionnaires?
Yes. As
yes.
in to ask them or feedback to ask them, how do you feel about our service? You do that,
Yeah.
yes?
Yes, I do that.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any other way that you can learn what your customers want? Which other way do you learn what your customers want from you? Is there any other?
Yeah. Sometimes, for an instance, as per me, I'm dealing with the FTTH, home fiber.
Okay.
Yeah, my clients, sometimes, for an instance, you have already connected the installation, you are done with the client. Now there's time you need like appreciating by giving t-shirts and all that. Yeah, they want that. They want that appreciation, giving them like t-shirts, pen.
Okay, that's nice. And in the process, they'll tell you, we like your product. How fast is your internet, by the way?
How fast? As in?
Yes. No, I'm just asking. How fast
Yes.
is it? Is it in compared to say Zuku or Safaricom? How is yours?
Yeah, from their perspective, or as per me.
Yeah, even from yours, yeah.
Yeah, our internet in the market is the best compared to our competitors. Yeah, that's from the clients, and as per me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I was just trying to see if you are a good internal customer, and I see that you are. A good internal customer should always have positive things to say about the organization. Yeah. So how do we give good internal customer service? Reward co-workers. Oh, I think I've already mentioned this. External rather. Remember, all employees serve external customers. If they do not see them, even if they don't see them, sorry, all employees serve external customers even if they don't see them. Tasks done behind the scene are vital to providing quality service to customers. Even if you have never seen a customer before, you serve them indirectly. So, what are some things that we do? If your company is delivering excellent, how do you know that you're delivering excellent customer service? If your company is delivering excellent service, you are a beacon of light in a very dark sea of mediocre commodity providers. If you are delivering excellent service, customers promote and recommend your services and products to other people. If you truly are doing a good job, your customers will recommend other people. Business in Kenya is done on referral. If I do my braids, I recently discovered a new hairstyle. I don't know if you've heard about this. It's called knotless braids. Ninakuibia siri. The ladies, you can do this after this. If the lady who did it, I would recommend her to anyone. How do you know you're doing a good job? Because your customers go and recommend. Number two, customers talk to you, talk about you, not to you, in a positive manner. Even if you're not there, they will say positive things about you. If you are doing a good job in customer service, a customer drives past 3 competitor stations to fill up at Total. If it is Total that you're going to, that's an example. If they were going to Total, for example, if they were going to, they needed fuel. If they would pass, like if I need internet, for example, I will pass Safaricom, I'll pass Zuku, I'll pass Liquid Telecom, I will come to you because your service is the best. I know that you will treat me the best. I was using examples of Total. Sorry, people say Total is the best damn petrol experience I've ever had. People say Adrian is the best experience they have ever had. The staff have purpose to come to work. They're excited. Are you guys excited to come to work? Now I know you won't answer me because the HR is there, but are you guys excited to come to work? You have less complaints and difficult customers as problems are addressed on the spot. If you are doing a good job, customers are always, the complaints are fewer. By the time you hear someone complaining, it's rare. Although it is to be expected, problems will always be there. Your main product is just a commodity with a regulated price. You cannot compete on product. Your main product is just a commodity with a regulated price, meaning people will always come to you even if the issue is not price. The customer must get an overall experience. A good, if you're giving good service, the customer is going to receive an overall great experience. So how do we achieve the next level of service? Number one, if you're writing, this is the time to write. How to achieve customer excellence. Number one, service strategy in line with customer expectation. People, technology, process. Do you have a strategic plan that will help you to deliver your customer service? Number two, develop and set service excellence standards. I don't know who I can ask. Do we have standards for customer service? Do we have, is it written somewhere? Do we have a strategic plan for customer service? If it is not there, and I'm sure there are managers here and supervisors here, if you are there, you need to have a strategic plan on how well you can serve your customers. You cannot manage what you cannot measure. Number three, train staff and build standard KPIs, key performance indicators. Do we have KPIs? I hope so. I believe you do. Number four, the voice of the customer. Feedback via all channels, service stations, if you have places, wherever it is, I mean, you have different branches, agencies, social media, contact center, net promoter score. Do we know what a net promoter score is? Net promoter score is, I don't know how many of you have been to Java. If you go to Java, after you have paid via M-Pesa, you get an SMS and they ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't know if you have ever heard of that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to recommend our product to someone else? 1 to 4 is usually extremely unsatisfied. 4 to 6 is usually they don't care. 7 to 10, actually 5 to 7 are usually with, they're like, whatever. From 8 to 10 are the ones who truly care. And the ones who, those are your loyal customers. That is the Net Promoter Score. It's a strategy that many organizations are using right now, Net Promoter Score. You send surveys to your customers and ask them, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to help us? If majority of your customers don't care or they're at the bottom, you have a problem. Like 1 to 4, you have a problem. But if the majority are between 10 to, maybe let's say between 6 and 10, then you're doing a good job. It means the majority of your customers are happy with your product. Then number 5, measure success, failure, and constantly raise the bar. Do a root cause analysis, data analysis, and customer workshops. I hope you have all of those. Has someone written these down? I hope so. That is excellent customer service. That's a basic strategy of customer excellence. Now, let's look at how to deal with difficult customers. Do we have any questions before I continue? Do we have any questions? Yes? No? Okay. How can one leverage on good customer experience for marketing? They go hand in hand. In fact, customer experience, if you look at the customer experience is an umbrella term. If you go to the customer experience department, sales is part of that customer experience, marketing is part of that experience, customer service is part of that experience. Any person who has a connection with the customer is usually under the umbrella of customer experience. So for example, to answer your question, how you can leverage customer experience with marketing. If a customer is happy with the product, after a while, if you notice that this customer is very loyal and they're always coming to your place, what do? When you have you collect that data. Like for example, if they're always paying via M-Pesa or till you notice they're always coming. What do? You take their contacts, and then whenever you have a new product, you use those contacts to send them promotional material, for example, or you can use that material whenever you use the customer service people to help you market. Maybe you give them t-shirts, you give them merchandise and stuff like that. Customer service, customer experience, and marketing go hand in hand. It's like they're cousins. Joy, I hope I have answered your question. Yeah? Have I? Thank you. Any other question? There are many strategies. You can tell your customer service people that every time they pick up the phone, maybe you're promoting a new, there's something called upselling and cross-selling. That's a whole different class altogether. If a customer calls in to complain about something, after you have resolved their issue, you ask them, have you heard about our new fiber optic ABCD? It is new, it is innovative. We are inviting our customers to come and give it a try. That is leveraging customer service with marketing. You've connected them. It's all about tactfulness. What is tact? Tactfulness. Let me just type it here. Tactfulness. Tactfulness is ujanja. I can't teach you ujanja per se, but the more you do things, the more you try and and fail even sometimes, the more tactful you become. You learn what works and what does not work. Let's look at handling different types of customers. Different types of customers. These are the different types of customers that we have. We have the angry customer. A slight mistake makes the customer very angry. What do? You let the customer finish talking. Do not interrupt. Be firm and polite, or else they may not be happy. Angry customers, I think, might be, of all the bad customers, they might be the majority. Some people are just downright unreasonable. So I've witnessed some angry customers who can even punch you in the face. They don't care. If you go on the internet and you go to YouTube and Google angry customers, I mean, some of the things that some customers do to people is outrageous. There's one that I saw, there's this lady who was angry and she went to, I don't know what had upset her. I'm sure you have seen this video before. She went to a coffee house and because I don't know what they did, she just got angry. She went, pardon the example, but it's a real example. She literally jumped over the counter and she pooped. She took down her whatever and she pooped, and she took she took a dump and she took the serviette, and this is a coffee house. She took serviettes and wiped herself and threw them there and she left. Those are the angry customer. Let the customer finish talk. That's an extreme. God forbid something like that to ever happen to you. But how you handle them, you let them talk. Don't interrupt them. The more you interrupt such a person, the more they get angry. Let them vent, finish, and then offer a solution. Be firm and polite, or else they may not be happy. The next type of customer is demanding customer. Demanding. The customer who wants more than what you can offer. They are not easily satisfied. You tell them no, they say but nimeona mkipatia mtu mwingine tu saa hii. Sijuzi last time niliona mmenipatia 300 shillings discount. Mbona this time amnipati? They are always asking for more than what is entitled to them. Be firm yet polite. Be professional. Avoid being too docile. As in, don't let the person walk all over you. Let them know that you're in charge. Otherwise, such a person can really frustrate your life. The next one is a passive customer. Customers who listen to you and sound apologetic when complaining. Especially, I find this a lot. If you're a custodian here, I beg, forgive. But have you ever spoken to those elderly coastal ladies? Mi sijui, bwanangu aliniambia ati nije niwaulize hata sielewi. So it's like she wants you to figure out what the problem is, and then after that you give a solution. Listen carefully to what they have to say. Sound professional and don't brush them aside, because sometimes you can get irritated. You're seeing a whole queue and this lady doesn't know what she wants. Gain their confidence, walk with them slowly. Sometimes even they get anxious because there are so many people around. Sometimes such a person, you can actually take them aside and sit with them quietly where people are not watching and you speak to them. Now, how do we handle difficult or unhappy customers? Step number one, adjust your mindset. First of all, they are not angry at you. They are angry at the situation. So adjust your mindset. Usikatch, I think that's the best way to say it. Don't catch feelings because someone is unhappy with you. Once you're aware that your client is unhappy, then your first priority is to put yourself in a customer service mindset. This means that you set aside any feelings you might have that the situation isn't your fault, or that your client has made a mistake, or that he or she is giving you unfair criticism. Don't make it seem like, and you know, sometimes when a customer is angry, they can say very mean things. Don't make it seem, don't take it to heart. In fact, for those of you who have worked in customer service like me, we used to be told, when you come to work, any feelings that you have and stuff like that, put them in a paper bag, at the gate, put them in a paper bag. Leave them with the watchman. Any problems, any issues that you have, because customers can be just difficult. Take all those issues that you have, put them in a bag, give them to the watchman and tell them, Nina Rudi, in the evening I'll come and pick my problems. Go handle your business, handle your customers the best way possible. Once you have resolved the issues, let it go back to the watchman, pick up and say, I've come for my issues. And you take them and you go home. Step number 2, listen actively. Do we have any questions as I'm still going on? Okay, listen actively. The most important step in the whole of this process is listening actively. Listen for keywords. Sometimes they'll say a lot of things, but all you need is one sentence which will be able to assist you to resolve the issue. Start the dialogue with a neutral statement such as, let's go over what happened, or please tell me why you're upset, or how can I be of assistance to you? Examples. That's step 2. Listen actively. Step number 3, repeat their concerns. Once he's had time to explain and you've had time to process everything that they have said, what do? You repeat you tell them, okay, so what you're telling me is you bought the product, yes. Yes. You used it, yes. The first day you used it, it was working, yes. And then the next day you woke up and it stopped working, yes. Okay, let me look at it. So always make sure that you repeat to them what it is they have said. Step 4, be empathic and apologize. Once you're sure that you understand what your client's concerns are, be empathetic. Show her or him you understand why she's upset, and make sure that your body language also communicates this understanding. Sometimes you can say, I'm sorry, but when the way you look, it doesn't seem like you're empathetic. Maybe you can think of examples. Yeah. Some people can be saying, can be, I don't know if you know such people. There are some people who can be insulting you, but the tone of their voice is very soft. Meanwhile, someone else can be telling you very nice things, but the tone of their voice is very upsetting. Your body language has to match what it is that you're talking about. Step 5, present a solution. Give a solution. After you've had all of those things, offer a solution. Sometimes the solution might not be with you. Sometimes you will have to consult with someone, or sometimes you will have to escalate the issue to someone who is on a higher level. If you feel that you know what will make your client happy, tell her how you'd like to correct the situation. Inform the person, let them know, okay, I've heard what you've said, but the challenge is that particular gadget that you want is out of stock. So allow us to get the next batch, and then I'll take down your contacts, and then I will call you when they come in. You could say, for example, I know you need these samples by tomorrow to show your own customers. I will call our other clients to see if they have extras that they can spare. And if they do, I'll drop them off at your offices no later than 5 p.m. this evening, for example. If you're not sure you know what your client wants from you, or if they resist your proposed solutions, give him or her the power to resolve things. Ask her to identify what will make her happy. You say, okay, how can we make things easier for you? Ask them maybe to offer the solutions. For instance, you could say, if my solution doesn't work for you, I'd love to hear what will make you happy. If it's in my power, I'll get it done. And if it's not possible, we can work on another solution together. That's an example. These are just my examples. I'm sure you can come up with others. Step 6, take action and follow up. Take action and do a follow-up. I think where many organizations fall short is doing a follow-up. Once the issue has been resolved, unaenda na ukienda and you forget about it until the next problem arises. But a good organization takes time to do follow-up. Once you both agreed on a solution, you need to take action immediately. Explain every step that you're going to take to fix the problem to your client. If she has contacted you by phone, make sure that she has your name and contact details. This gives her a feeling of control because she can get hold of you again if she needs to. For some reason, I use an example of a woman. Gentlemen, don't feel bad. I just used it for the sake of this discussion. Any questions? Step 7, use the feedback. Once they have given you the feedback, use it to improve yourself. Use it as an organization to fix whatever problems exist in the organization. Sometimes it could mean that you will have to escalate the problem to someone who is more senior so that the issue can be resolved. I hope we are together. Are we together? I need a signal. Anyone? Are we good? Okay, excellent. Finally, in terms of handling problems, define the root of the problem and make sure it's fixed immediately. Then consider using, also ensure that, then consider using the issue, the resolved issue. Use it next time, meaning. Also ensure that you're managing complaints and feedback effectively so that you can improve that way that you do things. The way that you do things can keep improving. The more feedback you get, the better you get at doing everything that you're doing. It's a back and forth. Problems arise, you fix them, you resolve, you do feedback, you use the feedback to make sure that the problem does not arise again. Reverse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat, like that until you get it right. Some other tips, lastly, as we close that section, and then I go to the last topic that I was to cover today, is it's important to handle difficult customers professionally. Please remember that you are an ambassador for the organization. You're not there as Jane or as Peter or as whoever. You're there as a representative of Adrian. So remember to be professional. Learning how to stay calm and how to stay cool under pressure can help you get through challenging situations with grace and professionalism. Get to a point where you are able to do things in a professional way without getting too personal about it. It's a delicate balance. Not everyone is able to do it, but find a way to strike that balance. And work on resolving your conflict resolution skills. Okay? Any questions before I go to the next topic? Any questions? Are we good? Maybe perhaps you can give me examples of difficult situations you've had with your customers, and then we see if we can help you resolve. Are there any difficult situations you've had with your customers? Anyone here? Is there anyone who has had a difficult situation with their customers and didn't know how to resolve it, and maybe you want advice on how to fix it? Is there anyone? Anyone? Okay, as I share the next topic. Are you usually this quiet? I'm sure if, someone is asking a question. How do you deal with the customer who always complains over everything? The good thing about such customers is, as much as they always complain over everything, they're the ones who give the most feedback. Those are the ones you need to make your friend. The more you resolve the issues, the better the relationship becomes with them. Such people just want to be made to feel like they're important, like they're special. Do things that make such a person, the person who is always complaining, just find a way to make sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I lost the network for some. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, yes.
I lost you for a second, but I'm back. Let's look at emotional intelligence. Have we heard about that term before? Emotional intelligence. It's a term that is being used more and more frequently these days. Just a second as I open my presentation. What does emotional, you can Google it, by the way. There's no patent on the definition. Okay, here we go. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, we can see the screen. There are various types of emotional intelligence. There's actually of intelligence. When we were growing up, we used to be told, someone has said something. When we were growing up, we used to be told, can you see the screen I've shared? You can see it, yes?
Yes.
Okay. When we were growing up, we used to be told in IQ, intellectual quotient, intelligence quotient is the one which is most important. That is what will get you ahead in life. And many times people would, like what our education system does, all the A's are usually sent to medical school or engineering. All the B's are usually sent to what? The B's go to teaching, I think. Am I wrong? All the B pluses, I think. Okay, John Miner, I'll get back to your question shortly. All the B's would go to teaching and stuff like that, all the C's like that. And the challenge with that is there are many times that you are pigeonholed in an intellectual box when you don't necessarily enjoy what it is they're putting you to do. For example, you have an A and then they send you to do medicine. And you know, when you're going to study medicine, the first topic that you do is they actually put you in a room full of dead bodies, you know, the cadavers. Looking at dead people is something that needs a certain level of emotional intelligence. Now, the first day you come there and you see someone, and then the first thing they do is they tell you to cut into that person. I think the first thing they cut into is the gluteus maximus. That's the first thing you cut into, which means just because I am smart doesn't necessarily mean that I am supposed to do certain jobs. Some people are very intelligent, but they're also talented in music, for example. They are good, great artists, etc. Now, the reason why many organizations focus on emotional intelligence is because they've discovered that many people have the know-how, but they don't have the emotional capacity to control themselves in the places of work. John Miner is okay, let me answer that question later on. I will answer after I finish this. Emotional intelligence, that question was asked privately, so I'll answer it later on. In layman terms, emotional intelligence is the capacity of a person to manage and control their emotions, and not just of themselves, but even of the people around them. Here we will discuss the importance of emotional intelligence, your ability to control your emotions and also to be able to handle the emotions of others. What are some of the things that affect how we interact emotionally? What are some of the factors that affect how we interact emotionally? Number one, I can write it here in the chat and you can read. Number one thing that affects us emotionally is our needs. Yes? What needs you have? Some people, if you have the need, you want food. You've heard of people saying an angry man is a hungry man. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to write it for everyone. Just a second. Number one is your needs. Number two is our environment. Our environment affects how we interact with each other. Our environment. Some of us were brought up in a very warm and loving environment. So everywhere we go, you embrace everything with a big hug. With some other people, they grew up in a very hostile environment. So everywhere they go, I have a friend who, she lost both her parents to HIV, and her relatives really mistreated her afterwards. So because of that, the way she interacts with people, her relatives always used to tell her, you're behaving the way you're behaving just because you're an orphan. So now she grew up thinking that everyone in the world is just seeing her as an orphan. It affects the way she interacts with people, with even the people she dates. Emotionally, it is affected by her environment. Another thing that affects our emotions is our gender. Men and women experience emotions very differently. Men are more private with their emotions. Not that they don't have them, but men are more private with their emotions. Women are more outspoken with their emotions. So who is more emotionally intelligent? If that is the case, let me ask, who do you think is more emotionally intelligent, men or women? Men or women? Anyone can answer? Who is more emotionally intelligent? Answer it at the end. I'll pose that question and you will answer at the end. The next thing that affects our emotions is our age. The men will say the men, the women will say the women. At the end, you will justify your thoughts. Okay, we'll discuss. We shall discuss. Another factor that affects us is our age. Every age, you experience different things. Your emotions evolve differently. The kind of people I was attracted to when I was younger are not the same as the people who I am attracted to now, because my emotions have changed. Before it was all about, oh my God, look at him, Alejandro, oh my goodness. Now it's, how are you bringing food on the table? You know, it's no longer about feelings. Things change and evolve with time. Something about gender, let me just go back to the gender factor. I have come to discover men and women approach people differently. A woman, if she's around her children, she's the same person. If she's around her friends, she's the same person. If she's around her husband, she's the same person. If she's around her parents, she's the same person. So if all these people are to sit in the room together and to discuss this person, say for example, we are speaking about Rhoda, for example, they will describe the same woman. They will say she's usually very funny, she's usually very serious, she's usually very nurturing, she's usually very warm. That's a woman. A man, on the other hand, a man is and you will agree with me or disagree with me either way. A man is one person around his children. He is another person around his friends. Please mute yourself. Someone please mute themselves. John Minor, please mute yourself. Okay, John Minor. Okay, thank you. A man is one person around his children. A man is another woman around his another person around his wife. He's another one around his mother. He's another, as in he compared to, he's different men to different people. So what happens if all these people, the children, the wife, even the mom, the friends, his colleagues also see a different man? I'm sure you've seen that before. If they all come together and sit together and discuss this Shadrach, for example, they will describe 6 very different men. So what usually happens in maybe a family gathering, the wife sits in a group of her family, her colleagues, etc. She's just herself because they all know her as the same person. But meanwhile, as a man, if all of them are to come together and sit together and he's also there, if they were all to congregate, what does a man do? He keeps quiet. Why? Because he's not able to break himself apart into different people. Is what I'm saying true or not? Is it true or not? Do you agree with me or disagree with me? That men can be different people around different people in their life, and women are consistently the same. No one is saying anything. Shall I cancel my theory? It's true. Yeah, I thought so too. That's why sometimes you will go to work, your wife will go to your office and she will say, hey, na vile nakwanga na kielele hapo nyumbani, and people in the office will be like, really? This same guy, huyu Eliud mwenye unasema, na vile huwa anakwanga so serious. It's like they wear different hats to different people. With a woman, if she's temperamental in the office, she's probably temperamental at home. She's temperamental, if she's always angry, she's probably, as in it flows to everything. She meshes the same woman into one, if you wish. It takes emotional intelligence for you to be able to separate those people. So I guess you're right. I think maybe men are more emotionally intelligent than women. Not to mean that they don't have emotions, that women don't have emotions. It's just managing the emotion. Managing emotions is easier with men than it is with women. So that being said, what are the characteristics of an emotionally intelligent person? Number one, they have empathy. They know how to put themselves in someone else's shoes. If someone tells you, there are some people who don't have empathy. If you tell them, sorry, if you tell them, I've lost someone, so they say sorry. As in, you can tell, it's neither here. So, see, okay, see, I may die. So now, Such bosses, for example, if you go and ask for permission, I've lost my grandmother, atakuuliza, if you go, will the person resurrect? No, you stay, you go and you go during the burial. Such people. Number 2, self-awareness. People who are aware of themselves are emotionally intelligent. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know what annoys you, you know what makes you happy, you are aware of yourself. You know your temperament. We don't have time, but we could have discussed temperaments later on. Number 3, you have curiosity. You're curious about things. You ask the right questions. Number 4, you have an analytical mind. You analyze things. You don't just take things at face value. If I see you screaming somewhere, I won't just say, ndo huyo ameanza kelele kila saa kupiga kelele. I'll analyze and find out why is it that this person is behaving this way. You don't just overreact. Number 5, you have a belief in a higher being. Most people who are emotionally intelligent understand that there are things that are beyond your control. There are things that are up to a higher being that I have no control over. People who are not emotionally intelligent believe that everything, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I have control over everything. All things, if anything is to work, it is up to me. Number 7, you're passionate about something. You're not just indifferent. You know, there are some people who don't care. As in, oh, the food is nice. Okay. What do you think about the music? Iko tu. What do you think about the weather? It's hot. You're watching the news. What do you think about the next elections? That is a sign of lack of emotional intelligence. Please note at this point, let me just make a point and say, the issue is not having emotions, because we all have emotions. The issue is your ability to control them. We all have emotions. How well do you control them? Number 8, you're always optimistic that the glass is always half full as opposed to half empty. Number 9, you have adaptability. When life throws things at you. You saw when Corona first came, people were committing suicide. Did you see that? There was all of, not just committing suicide. Husbands were stabbing wives, wives were stabbing husbands. There's another story I saw the other day where this man killed his wife and he also killed the children and then he killed himself. That's lack of adaptability. Things became tough. I also saw another one where I don't know if you saw, there's a woman who killed herself and her children. She drowned herself and her 2 children in the river. Aliwashika wakaruka wote hivyo wakajiua ndani ya maji. All of them couldn't swim. I don't know if you saw that story. It's a lack of adaptability when life becomes tough. The other extreme is when things are very good, you overreact, you are over happy. Like you go jumping up and down on everything. You're like lightning in a bottle. Adapt to life. Things don't destabilize you as much. Right now, there are some things that we have had to adapt to. I've learned during this corona, there are some things that you can live without. Si lazima upike nini sukuma wiki na nyanya na kitunguu. Unaweza weka tu mafuta na pia itaiva. Those are some of the things. That's adaptability. But there are some people, you're like, I can't even afford to have tomatoes in my skuma. Adapt. Adjust. You don't have to. There are those drunkards who their life was in the bar. Without the bar, their life was nothing. And then all of a sudden, the unimaginable happened and the bars were closed. Ilikuwa kama culture shock. How? How will I meet my friends? And many people, as much as you go to the bar to drink, because you can drink anywhere, there are people who go to the bar for the socializing aspect. In the bar, you are like a boss. There are some people. In the bar, it's like everyone knows your name. You matter. Your presence counts. There is a place you can sit and give your opinions and say, "Huyu Raila need this," and now you Uhuru need that, and people pay attention and listen to you. You matter. Now all of a sudden they've closed the bars and you don't know what to do with yourself. You've lost your identity. You don't know who you are outside of that clique inside the bar. Adaptability. Number 10, desire to help others succeed and succeed yourself. Hauna kinyongo. You don't feel bad when other people are doing well. That's a sign of emotional intelligence. Some of you, I'd say this because every office has one. Some of you, if I come and I tell you that I'm up for promotion, you won't sleep at night. You will start plotting how you're going to destroy me. Because you huwezi ona tu vile mtu mwingine atasonga mbele. If I have free samples and I give this lady and I don't give you, it's like someone has removed your eye or something. So let's look at the 5 components of emotional intelligence, and then I will be out of your hair. Components of emotional intelligence, or rather how you build your emotional intelligence. Number 1, build on your social skills. How do you build on your social skills? Build on your social skills. Interact with people. There's no shortcut. How do you become a social person? Socialize. It's like any skill. How do I become a good singer? I sing. How do I become a good dancer? You have to dance. If you want to be better at building your social skills, interact with people. Be where the people are. Don't hide yourself away. Although Corona made the introverts to be very happy, you know. Self-awareness, learn yourself. Take time to learn yourself. Learn what makes you tick, learn what makes you angry, etc. Self-awareness is a process, and it evolves over time, and it has to be done consciously. Another thing is self-regulate. Self-regulate, don't overindulge in things, regulate yourself. Not all things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. That's in the Bible. Find something that motivates you, something healthy that motivates you, and then learn to empathize with other people. That is it for me. Let me, as I close, what is the importance of emotional intelligence? It helps to relate with others in a much better and effective way, especially since we are talking about customer service week. You have to have emotional intelligence to be able to interact with some of these very difficult customers. It necessitates the need to admit and learn from mistakes, thus cutting down on the major ego issues in an organization. It helps helps people get along better. The more emotional intelligent you are, the more you will get along with people. It also enables us to have control over the emotions and have thoughtful discussions. If people don't have emotional intelligence, it's very difficult for you to sit down and come up and have a discussion and come up with a consensus, because everyone is feeling like my opinion matters. Educated people, or people who have emotional intelligence, can sit with someone who they disagree with. If you are a Christian and you sit with an atheist, you should be able to have a healthy discussion even though you have differences. If your customer comes in and they are or a tribe that is not yours, Kenya, we have tribalism, and you don't agree with them, you can still be able to discuss matters with them beyond what you see, what tribe you see. Then it ensures leaders to be good in active listening, and just generally makes better leaders. Yeah. It molds a leader to take criticism positively. It helps to stay calm even under pressure. 1 in 3 hiring managers emphasizes that emotional intelligence should be a requisite in hiring and promoting. You will not get promoted if you are the kind of person who is not emotionally intelligent, and it is always evident. And then emotional intelligence is more important than IQ, because a person who has good workmanship but is incapable of apprehending his team's issues can end up in creating a negative work environment, which we had mentioned before. I think that is it for us today. Any questions? Actually, it was a question that someone had asked, and I think I want to answer it. Just a second, let me see that question. Someone had asked, how do you draw the line if you are a lady and the customer is male and wants to have sexual favors for them to give you business? I want you guys to answer that question before I give my answer. If a customer comes to you and tells you, you want my business, you know what to do. What do you do? How do you help such a person? We are closing. We are finishing, we're winding up. Who can answer that question? Anyone? Rhoda, are you there? Are you with me still? How do you help such a person? Someone has said, that's very immoral, leave the business. It's not that simple. Not that simple. What if it's a major, imagine, let me give it a bit different angle. Imagine if your boss comes into the office and he says, this is a very major client. This person is bringing us major business. And because you're our senior sales advisor, I want you to handle this case. So they hand over the customer to you, Susan or Jane or whoever. And then the moment the boss walks away, he starts telling you, hey, si unanimaliza. Sasa do hivi, hii biashara ni yako. Bora ukuje tukutane place fulani. What do you do? It's not as simple as you just up and leave, sindio? Because you still need to make a living. How can you help this person? I think the first thing I can say in that regard, you have policies, right? Do you have policies that are related to sexual harassment? Do we? Are there policies? Guys,
Yes, yes.
there are policies, right? Oh, sorry, Rhoda, I was asking, someone asked, what do you do if a customer is asking for sexual favors in exchange for business? What do you do? The person tells you, I'm not giving you my business unless you give up the, So what do you do? I was asking you as the HR, what do you do? How do you advise such a person? Did you get that, Rhoda?
Hi, Dorothy, just join. I had lost, I lost you at some point. Kindly just go through the question again.
Okay, some comes and demands sexual favors in exchange for he says, I'm not giving you my business unless you give me your body. What do you do?
Okay, in such a case, I will actually reiterate on what you've taken us through. You told us that it's important for someone to be firm and confident at the same time, but also be very polite. So in this case, the person concerned will have just would clearly communicate and say no according to our policies, because we also have policies that govern us even as a team. I am not willing to do this, and even maybe personal reasons you're not willing to do that. Be firm, be confident, and you can also engage or involve your immediate supervisor, because I'm sure in a department you don't work alone, so there's a team. So let your manager know what's happening. That at least will, when she has or they have visibility, they're able to back you up.
Someone is saying, I will not accept for God's sake unless I want to do it willingly, but not for business. Let it be. If you accept the first time, he will use it as a blackmail. That is true. First of all, let's agree that you should not have exchange sexual favors for anything professional. That's unethical. Let's agree with that. However, one, there are policies. I think every organization has sexual harassment policies. Now, two, is something again that I have mentioned from before called tactfulness. Kuna ujanja ya kukataa, unakataa lakini unakubali. Does that make sense? You are accepting the business, but you are refusing to give in to what they are saying. I don't know how to explain it. You guys, the gentlemen in the group, have you ever hit on say no, but she's still somehow, she's still in your life? There's a way you can still do business with this person. You've said no, yes, but there's a way that he's taken the no in such a way that is acceptable, but I don't know how to explain it. Tactfulness, guys. If you're completely in a situation that you cannot be able to resolve the issue, seek advice. Go to the HR manager for guidance, go to your supervisor for assistance. There's always a smart way of doing things. Yeah? Someone was saying something? Seek assistance. I say this because I know it's never as simple as just saying no. Actually, he's expecting you to say no. I don't think he's expecting you, he'll ask you immediately and then you just say, okay, sawa twende. Of course not. He's expecting you to say no. So there's some who will not accept no, that simply. Don't walk alone. Go with your supervisor, because sometimes when you refuse, he can go to someone senior and say, you see, this girl is harassing me. You can turn it around on you. You can say she was very rude or something like that. The moment that happens, you have to work with your supervisor. Let the system be on your side. I hope that makes sense. Usitembee peke yako, usiumie peke yako. Some of the challenges that, at the end of the day, you are there as a representative of the organization. So the organization should have your back, for sure. You shouldn't suffer alone. And sometimes what you will do, if he insists that you have to go and have a meeting somewhere, because these days business is not conducted in the offices, what you can do, you can make sure that whenever you go to have a meeting with him, you don't go alone, go with someone. Get a male colleague to go with you whenever you go and meet this customer. You make sure that you're not alone. Don't allow yourself to be put in compromising situations where even him, later on, he'll say, I'm sure you've heard of these cases where someone will, a lady will complain about sexual harassment, and then she'll be told, unafanya nini hapo peke yako, and letting the guy go scot-free. I hope I'm making sense. Yes? I hope I'm making sense. Anyone? Please respond so I know we are together.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. I think I've delivered everything I was meant to deliver today. Unless you have questions, thank you, Rhoda. You will become a slave to that person forever. Keep your head up, family, and don't dare accept. Be accompanied by a colleague or in all meetings. Thank you. She's just agreeing with whatever I have said. Thank you, Rhoda. Rhoda, I'm done. It's been a pleasure. I hope once this corona ends, we'll be able to meet face to face and have a deeper interaction from there. Yeah?
Yes, Dorothy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll probably pose a question to my team. Are there any challenges you've encountered while dealing with customers? I know that there must be challenges. So I think this is the time. You can still use the chat section, or you can unmute yourself. Let's hear from you. This is an opportunity for you to share the challenges you've been facing. Actually, that covers the essence of this meeting.
Yeah.
Anyone? I wouldn't want to close the meeting without or leave any question unanswered or any concern taken care of. Maybe Dorothy, I can ask you a question. What if you're not able to deliver, let's say it's a project for issues that, the internal team is aware of, let's say the company has issues, let's say materials or whatever, and you don't want to make the company bad from the customer side, you still want to maintain the customer's trust. How are you going to go about it?
That is the point of customer service. Customer service is all about working with the customer. And I mean, reasonable customers understand that problems arise. I'll give you an example. If you are watching your most favorite telenovela, if you like, there's usually La Muchacha Italiana or whatever. If they're not able to air that show, what do they usually say? Due to unavoidable circumstances, the show La Muchacha Italiana today will not air. We apologize for any inconvenience caused. So, if you are not able to deliver for whatever reason, immediately do damage control. Call the customers and explain to them. Of course, you don't say everything that has happened. You don't say, oh, unajua huyu boss ni mjinga sana. Unfortunately, due to internal challenges that we have had, we are not able to deliver when we said we will. However, we are going to try and deliver it by this and this day. If you are able, as much as possible, especially depending on the caliber of the client, because some clients are big, like $1 million clients, try and find a way to give them a complimentary something, to compensate them, to make them feel like they're still valuable to you. And I'm assuming that such problems don't happen every day. Any organization, there is always going to be challenges. Challenges are part of life. Hata wewe, like maisha yako haiko, it's not a straight line. There are hitches along the way. That is the nature of life. The important thing is keep your, like right now, there are some people who have not been able to pay rent because their companies have not paid them. That happens. So what do? Instead of playing cat and mouse with your landlord, what do? You call the landlord in advance and let them know, boss, this is the situation at the office. I might not be able to pay rent for the next 2 months. If he's a reasonable customer, if he's a reasonable landlord, depending on the relationship that you have built with them, they'll say, okay, I understand, we shall see what we can do. And most landlords, by the way, have been very understanding. I'm not saying every customer is going to be reasonable. Of course, there'll be that customer who is just going to be through the roof. But you adjust, you accept their anger, and you resolve the issue as quickly as possible. Because it's life, it's business. These things happen. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, very well. Thank you, Dorothy. I hope I haven't closed anyone with any question. What I would like to say is that the workplace landscape has changed. Previously, or initially, we used to have like salespeople doing just sales and then leaving the customer service to customer people. Now everyone is a customer, does customer service, from the watchman, from support teams. You have customers, whether internal, whether external, they have a direct input to our customers. I know this was a customer service week, and my mantra was customer service week is not just about customers, it's about employees too, because good customer service starts from the employees. So we understand the workplace culture is key in terms of determining a company level of customer service. Therefore, one of the things that we thought will really work is to empower employees to exceed our expectation. So we all know that we've embedded the customer as a key goal, even in our scorecards. And that means each and every one of us has a responsibility and actually KPIs to achieve towards customer excellence. So don't take it lightly, and we cannot afford to downplay such a key goal for our company. And then that's why we decided to have this session. So we shall have certificates, by the way, after this for those who've attended. So I will communicate to my team on when they'll be ready. We shall issue certificates for those who attended. Thank you very much, Dorothy and Purity, for always being our partners. We're looking forward to meet after all this is done. So to my team, thank you for availing yourself and creating time for this. I'm sure you've been able to benefit both from the customer service and also emotional intelligence, because again, emotional intelligence is also key in how you treat each other. Apart from the customer, again, how you treat your colleagues and how you also treat the clients and the customers. So it improves how our lives and our relationship. And I hope you benefited. So thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. And I hear tomorrow is a Huduma day. Yeah, it's a Huduma holiday. So enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rhoda.
Bye. God bless.
And Dorothy.
God bless you.
Bye.